In life, we often try to maintain good relationships with those around us. However, people don't always treat us sincerely or like us. Sometimes, the feeling of dislike is subtly hidden and difficult to recognize. This can make us feel confused, wondering if we've done anything wrong. In this video, we'll look at 7 potential signs that someone doesn't like you, but is trying to hide it. Understanding these signs not only helps you identify unhealthy relationships, but also helps you develop self-esteem and the ability to deal with negative attitudes from others in a way that Stoicism encourages. Control your reactions. Don't let external circumstances hurt your spirit. 1. They avoid eye contact and limit physical touch. In daily life, communication goes beyond words. It includes nonverbal cues like eye contact, gestures, and physical touch. These elements often reveal a person's true feelings in social interactions. When someone avoids eye contact or limits physical touch, it can indicate that they feel uncomfortable or, worse, don't particularly like you. This kind of behavior is often subtle and hard to detect, especially when the person doesn't express negative feelings directly through words or clear actions. Eye contact is a crucial part of human interaction and relationship building. Looking someone in the eye not only shows that you care, but also builds trust and connection. In many social situations, eye contact indicates respect and sincerity. However, when someone avoids making eye contact, it may reflect various emotional states, ranging from discomfort to outright dislike. If someone constantly avoids your gaze, frequently looking down or around while speaking with you, it could be a sign that they are not comfortable or don't want to engage deeply. This avoidance might be a way for them to protect their emotions, hide their lack of fondness, or maintain a certain distance. This can be a subtle indication of their dislike, which they may not want or be able to express openly. Limiting physical touch, a clear sign of distance. Physical touch is an important element of building rapport and closeness. A firm handshake, a warm hug, or even sitting close to one another demonstrates respect, care, and connection. However, when someone intentionally avoids these actions, especially in situations where physical touch is typical, it's a clear signal that they are trying to maintain distance. Limiting physical contact can manifest in several ways. They may avoid handshakes, stand far away during conversations, or sit further than normal during meetings. These behaviors are often intentional and signal an emotional or psychological need for distance. The person might feel uncomfortable being near you, or they simply don't want to establish a stronger connection. Why do they avoid eye contact and physical touch? There are many reasons why someone might avoid eye contact and limit physical touch. Some of the most common reasons include dislike. They may not feel positively about you but don't want to openly show it. Instead, they use nonverbal cues like avoiding eye contact and physical touch to keep their distance. Insecurity. They could feel insecure or intimidated around you, especially if they perceive you as a threat or feel socially awkward in the situation. Discomfort. Perhaps you unknowingly did something that made them uncomfortable, or they have different values and perspectives, which make them want to avoid close interaction. Regardless of the reason, recognizing and understanding these signs can help you navigate complex social situations with more grace and awareness. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This means that instead of feeling hurt or anxious about someone not liking you, you should focus on yourself and your own values. There's no need to seek approval from everyone, and you shouldn't allow negative signals like avoiding eye contact or limiting physical touch to lower your self-esteem or disrupt your mental peace. Stoicism also encourages us to accept that not everyone will like us. Seneca famously said, "Not everyone will like you, just as you don't like everyone." This is a normal part of life, and there's nothing wrong with it. Instead of trying to change their feelings, you should focus on maintaining your own calm and peace of mind. When you notice that someone is avoiding eye contact or limiting physical touch, it's important not to overreact. Here are some tips based on Stoicism to handle these situations. Stay calm. Instead of feeling anxious or upset, remain composed. Recognize that their feelings are outside your control and shouldn't impact your emotional stability. Focus on your own value. Don't try to change yourself to please them. Stay grounded in your own principles and personal goals. Don't react emotionally. Avoid letting your ego get hurt. As Stoicism teaches, inner peace comes from maintaining self-control and not letting outside actions dictate your emotional state. Accept that not everyone will like you. This is natural. There's no need to waste energy trying to change others' opinions of you. Instead, invest your energy in relationships that matter. 2. They constantly compare you to others. Being compared to others is a common experience. Sometimes these comparisons come from a positive place, meant to encourage or motivate us to improve. However, when someone dislikes you and constantly compares you to others, it usually comes from a place of criticism, aimed at diminishing your confidence and self-worth. This type of comparison not only creates feelings of insecurity, but also makes you question your own value. When someone constantly compares you to others, it often reflects dissatisfaction or a lack of positive feelings toward you. They might compare you to coworkers, friends, or even celebrities, highlighting your weaknesses and making you feel inadequate. Phrases like, "Why aren't you as good as X?" or "If only you did things like Y, everything would be better," are examples of how these comparisons make you feel judged and unappreciated. People who compare you to others tend to emphasize that you're not good enough by their standards. They might not see your true worth or intentionally bring you down to maintain a sense of superiority. These comparisons not only hurt your self-esteem, but also create frustration in relationships, making you feel like you'll never meet their expectations. Frequent comparisons can have a significant negative impact on your mental health. When you are compared to others, especially in a critical way, it can lead to feelings of insecurity and self-doubt. You begin to wonder if you're truly good enough, and this doubt erodes your confidence. A lack of confidence can affect your performance at work, school, and even in personal relationships. Research shows that unhealthy social comparisons can lead to psychological issues like anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. When you're constantly compared to others, you may become caught in a cycle of trying to meet unrealistic expectations, which only increases pressure and leads to a vicious cycle of failure and dissatisfaction. Stoicism encourages you to focus on personal growth rather than getting caught up in comparing yourself to others. Everyone is on their own journey, and comparing yourself to others only distracts you from your own development. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that we should judge ourselves based on the progress we've made, not on external standards imposed by others. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one." This means that you should focus on becoming the best version of yourself, rather than trying to meet the standards others have set for you. Personal growth also involves understanding yourself, recognizing your strengths and weaknesses, and working to improve them. Instead of changing to please others, invest time in developing the skills and qualities that you find valuable. This not only helps you grow as an individual, but also allows you to remain calm and unfazed by unnecessary comparisons. When you realize that someone is comparing you in an unhealthy way, here are some Stoic-inspired strategies to help you manage the situation. Stay calm. The first and most important thing is not to overreact to the comparison. Remember, you can't control others' emotions or opinions. Stay composed and don't let emotions dictate your actions. Focus on your own value. Don't let comparisons lower your self-esteem. Remind yourself that you have your own unique worth, and that worth isn't based on how others compare you to someone else. Build self-confidence. Stoicism encourages building confidence from within, grounded in what you know is right and valuable to you. When you're confident in yourself, critical comparisons from others won't affect you as much. Don't chase other people's expectations. Don't waste energy trying to please people who habitually compare you to others. Live according to the principles and values that matter to you. Constant comparison to others can be a clear sign that someone dislikes you and is trying to bring you down. However, by following the Stoic approach, you can face this situation with wisdom and composure. Remember, you can't control how others compare you, but you can control how you respond to those comparisons. 3. They smile, sarcastically or mockingly. In everyday communication, a smile is one of the most important ways to express emotions. A smile can show empathy, joy, or friendliness. However, not every smile is positive. When someone doesn't like you, they might use a smile in a sarcastic or mocking way. These smiles aren't meant to build a connection. They're meant to make you feel small, insignificant, or even foolish. The mocking smile. A clear sign of disrespect. One of the clearest signs that someone doesn't like you is when they use a smile to mock or belittle you. This can happen when you share your opinions, take action, or even just participate in a conversation. A sarcastic smile is often accompanied by a look of disdain or a smirk. Rather than encouraging or showing interest, this kind of smile makes you feel disrespected, and your words feel dismissed. Someone who mocks you in this way may do so to create distance or assert their superiority. They want you to know that, in their eyes, you aren't good enough or deserving of respect. This isn't just a lack of courtesy, it's a subtle way of undermining your self-worth. The psychological impact of the mocking smile. A mocking or sarcastic smile can have a powerful negative impact on a person's mental state. When you sense that someone doesn't truly respect you and instead mocks you, it can cause you to doubt your own value. The mocking smile, with its underlying scorn, can make you feel isolated and judged. Instead of feeling heard or valued, you may begin to feel unworthy or inadequate. This kind of disdain and mockery not only erodes your self-esteem, but can also lead to anxiety and insecurity. You might start fearing that everything you say or do will be ridiculed or dismissed, which can diminish your confidence in social situations. Over time, this kind of mockery can affect your mental well-being and how you relate to others, as well as how you view yourself. Stoicism offers a profound and wise approach to handling disrespectful behavior, such as mocking or sarcastic smiles. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "Give up your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." He emphasized that we shouldn't let our ego dictate our emotions when we face disrespect from others. Stoicism teaches that while we can't control how others behave, we can control how we respond. When someone mocks or ridicules you, rather than getting caught up in feelings of offense or trying to retaliate, you should remain calm. Their mocking smile doesn't define your worth, it merely reflects their lack of respect and self-control. One of the core principles of Stoicism is to not let the ego control our emotions and actions. When someone smiles sarcastically, the first reaction many people feel is anger or hurt. Our ego wants to respond, to assert that we don't deserve to be treated this way. However, Marcus Aurelius advised, if you can give up your ego, you will see things more clearly. Letting go of the ego doesn't mean accepting injustice or disrespect, but recognizing that your reaction to someone else's behavior determines your mental state. If you allow a mocking smile to affect your emotions, you fall into the trap of anger and frustration, which only disturbs your inner peace and self-control. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control, ourselves. Rather than overreacting to mockery, maintain your calm, recognize that such behavior is beyond your control, and don't let it affect your peace of mind. Focus on your own value instead of the mockery. A sarcastic or mocking smile doesn't diminish your value unless you allow it to. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that your value doesn't come from how others treat you, but from how you perceive and treat yourself. Epictetus, another great Stoic philosopher, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When someone mocks or ridicules you, remember that this doesn't mean you're inadequate or unworthy. Focus on your core values, honesty, self-respect, and confidence. If you know that you are living according to your principles, their mockery cannot shake you. 4. They don't show support or compliment you. In any social relationship, receiving support and compliments from others can be an important factor in feeling motivated and recognized. However, when someone secretly dislikes you, they may express this by refusing to acknowledge or compliment your achievements. They may remain silent about your successes or seem indifferent when you need encouragement. One of the clearest signs that someone doesn't like you is when they never show support or praise your success. Even when you achieve important milestones or accomplish something in your work, they don't offer any recognition. Instead of sharing in your joy or encouraging you to go further, they often remain silent or show disinterest. This lack of support can manifest in various situations, from the workplace to personal life. In a professional setting, this person may fail to acknowledge your contributions, avoid praising your efforts, or even not recommend you for promotions or opportunities. In personal relationships, they may not share in your joy when you graduate, get a promotion, or complete a major project. Not receiving support or praise from others, especially from people you value, can negatively affect your self-esteem. You may start questioning whether you are truly good enough or if your accomplishments are worthy of recognition. The absence of praise can lower your self-worth and confidence, making you doubt your abilities. Once you begin to feel that others' recognition is necessary to determine your value, it becomes easy to depend on external validation. This can create a vicious cycle where you constantly seek approval and praise from others, yet never feel satisfied because that validation may not always come. Epictetus, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, once said, "Happiness and freedom begin with understanding that some things are within our control, and some things are not. Whether others praise or support you is beyond your control. What you can control is how you react and how you perceive your success." Instead of seeking external validation, Stoicism teaches us to evaluate and appreciate our own achievements based on personal principles and standards. Stoicism emphasizes that personal growth and success should not be dependent on whether others compliment or support you. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic philosopher, advised, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one." This means that instead of focusing on how others perceive your success, you should focus on being proud of yourself and what you have achieved. Self-evaluation involves setting your own standards based on your personal principles. When you do this, you no longer depend on the approval or praise of others. Instead, you measure your success and progress based on the values and criteria that matter most to you. When faced with a situation where someone doesn't support or compliment you, here are some Stoic-based strategies to apply. Stay calm. When you don't receive recognition from others, remain composed. Don't let your emotions be driven by factors outside your control. Just because someone doesn't praise you doesn't mean you're not valuable. Focus on yourself. Instead of waiting for external support, focus on your own progress. Evaluate your success based on what you've accomplished and how you've grown, rather than whether or not others acknowledge it. Build inner confidence. Develop confidence from your achievements and values. When you're confident in yourself, others' praise or lack of support won't matter as much. You don't need everyone's approval. Remember that you don't need everyone's approval to feel valuable. What matters is that you're living according to your principles and not letting others dictate your sense of self-worth. In Stoicism, self-reliance is a core component of achieving inner peace. When you no longer depend on others' praise or support, you achieve a certain level of psychological freedom. You're no longer affected by negative comments or the silence of those around you. Instead, you focus on improving and growing based on your own principles and values. Self-reliance also helps you face people who don't support you with grace. Instead of feeling hurt or angry, you'll understand that not everyone will recognize your value fairly. What matters is that you are putting in your best effort to achieve success. 5. They constantly try to undermine you in front of others. When someone intentionally undermines you in front of others, it can be a deeply hurtful behavior. These individuals often use social situations to embarrass or subtly diminish your value. They don't need to be outright offensive. Instead, they employ covert tactics to attack your self-esteem and make you feel small in front of others. People who frequently undermine others often do so to reinforce their own status in a group or social setting. Rather than assert their value through positive accomplishments or qualities, they choose to lower the value of others to appear more dominant. They may use stories, remarks, or seemingly harmless jokes to make you feel inferior or inadequate. For example, in a group conversation, they might bring up a mistake you made or joke about your flaws, turning you into the subject of mockery. While their words may not seem directly offensive, their goal is to make you feel insecure and diminished in the eyes of others. Constantly being undermined in front of others can have a damaging psychological effect. When someone publicly devalues you, it can leave you feeling hurt and less confident. Your self-esteem takes a hit, and you may start questioning whether you truly are as inadequate as they imply. Additionally, being embarrassed in front of others can lead to social anxiety. You might start fearing social interactions, worried that you'll once again become the target of ridicule or undermining comments. This anxiety doesn't just impact your self-esteem, but also leaves you feeling isolated and uncomfortable around others. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." When facing disrespect, Stoicism encourages us not to react impulsively with anger or hurt. Rather than allowing undermining words to provoke you, Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from controlling your response and maintaining self-respect. It's not about retaliating or defending your ego, but about staying calm in the face of negativity. In many situations, our ego can cause us to overreact when we're undermined. The ego demands that we fight back, that we prove we don't deserve to be treated this way. However, Stoicism teaches that reacting emotionally doesn't help. It only increases tension and conflict. Epictetus, another well-known Stoic philosopher, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This means that when someone undermines you in front of others, what's important is not their words, but how you choose to respond. You can choose to stay silent and composed, or you can respond in a way that doesn't escalate the situation or harm your inner peace. In many situations, our ego can cause us to overreact when we're undermined. The ego demands that we fight back, that we prove we don't deserve to be treated this way. However, Stoicism teaches that reacting emotionally doesn't help. It only increases tension and conflict. Epictetus, another well-known Stoic philosopher, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This means that when someone undermines you in front of others, what's important is not their words, but how you choose to respond. You can choose to stay silent and composed, or you can respond in a way that doesn't escalate the situation or harm your inner peace. Stoicism emphasizes that your value doesn't come from how others treat you, but from how you perceive yourself. When you understand your worth, others' attempts to undermine you won't have the same impact. They may try to diminish your value, but if you know you are living according to your personal principles and values, their words become meaningless. Instead of focusing on the negative words of others, shift your attention to your own growth and the things within your control. Focusing on your personal goals and values will help you maintain self-esteem and avoid getting caught up in the ego-driven games that others are trying to create. By focusing on your own value and keeping a level head in any situation, you can navigate social challenges with confidence. When you can control your reaction and avoid falling into the ego trap, you'll find freedom and inner strength no matter how others attempt to diminish your worth. 6. They deliberately ignore your success. Personal success is something to be proud of. Whether it's an achievement at work, school, or a major milestone in your personal life, these moments deserve recognition and celebration. However, when someone dislikes you, they may deliberately ignore your success, choosing not to congratulate or even acknowledge the important moments in your life. This is a clear sign of their ill will, and in many cases, it can leave you feeling hurt or even undervalued. Personal success is something to be proud of. Whether it's an achievement at work, school, or a major milestone in your personal life, these moments deserve recognition and celebration. However, when someone dislikes you, they may deliberately ignore your success, choosing not to congratulate or even acknowledge the important moments in your life. This is a clear sign of their ill will, and in many cases, it can leave you feeling hurt or even undervalued. When others don't acknowledge your success, you may feel hurt and undervalued. This lack of recognition can make you feel as though your hard work isn't appreciated or that you don't truly deserve your achievements. This can negatively impact your self-esteem and confidence, especially if you place a high value on receiving praise from others. Furthermore, when you don't receive validation from others, you may begin to question the worth of your accomplishments. You might wonder if your success is truly significant if no one else acknowledges it. These thoughts can lead to self-doubt and cause you to become reliant on external validation. Stoicism encourages us not to seek validation from others, but to focus on the process and the value of our work. Epictetus, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, once said, "Don't expect others to understand or appreciate what you do. Instead, understand the value of your own work." Stoicism teaches that while we can't control how others think or act, we can control how we perceive our own success. When someone ignores your achievements, it doesn't diminish their value. Instead, take pride in what you've accomplished, and don't let others' silence make you doubt your worth. Focus on the process, not the recognition. One of the key lessons of Stoicism is to focus on the process of working, rather than seeking recognition or praise from others. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic philosopher, said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This means that true fulfillment comes not from the end result, but from the effort and growth that come with the process of achieving your goals. Instead of waiting for others to praise you, focus on the satisfaction that comes from working hard and completing your tasks. The process itself is where you learn and grow, and that's what matters most. If recognition from others comes, consider it a bonus, not the main objective. Value your own accomplishments. Stoicism also teaches us to learn how to value and celebrate our achievements without needing external validation. When you reach a goal, take time to acknowledge your efforts and dedication. This isn't about arrogance, it's about recognizing the hard work and commitment that brought you to this point. Valuing your own accomplishments helps maintain self-esteem and confidence, even when others don't acknowledge them. When you know your worth and take pride in what you've achieved, you no longer rely on external recognition to feel validated. By maintaining self-esteem and confidence from within, you no longer need others' recognition to validate your worth. Be proud of what you've achieved and keep moving forward, whether or not you receive external praise. 7. They never want to listen to you. In everyday communication, being listened to is one of the most important ways to feel respected and connected to others. When someone is willing to listen, it shows care and goodwill. However, if someone doesn't like you, they may show this by refusing to listen to your opinions or stories. They often interrupt, change the subject, or simply act disinterested during conversations. This behavior is not only frustrating, but can also make you feel undervalued and disregarded. They don't want to listen. A sign of dislike. When someone doesn't like you, they may avoid having to listen to what you have to say. Instead of engaging in conversation sincerely, they often cut you off or change the subject to avoid hearing your opinions. This not only disrupts the flow of conversation, but is also a subtle way of showing they don't value your perspective. The refusal to listen can happen in many settings. At work, a colleague may not take the time to hear your input during meetings, or they may ignore the suggestions you offer. In personal relationships, you might notice that certain people aren't interested in your stories or opinions, frequently interrupting or shifting the conversation to topics that interest them more. Stoicism offers a profound perspective on dealing with this kind of disrespect. Stoicism encourages us not to seek approval or recognition from others to feel valuable. Instead, the philosophy teaches that our worth comes from within, from listening to ourselves and acting according to our personal principles. Epictetus, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, once said, "We should not rely on external things to determine our value. Seek recognition from yourself." This means that instead of waiting for others to listen and agree with your perspective, you should be confident in what you say and trust in your own value. Listen to yourself. The source of true confidence. One of the key lessons of Stoicism is learning to listen to yourself. When you know your worth and are confident in what you have to say, the lack of interest from others will no longer affect you. Understand that you don't need others to validate or listen to you in order to know that you have value. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic philosopher, once said, "Don't waste your time thinking about how others judge you. Focus on being the best version of yourself." This encourages us to focus on what's important to us, rather than worrying about how others treat us in conversations. You don't need others' agreement. Stoicism also teaches that we shouldn't seek agreement or acceptance from others to define our worth. When you are secure in your value, others' lack of interest won't impact your self-esteem. You don't need others to listen in order to know that what you say is important and meaningful. This doesn't mean you should give up on communication, but it does mean learning not to let others' indifference affect your mood and self-worth. If people don't want to listen, that's their choice, but it doesn't diminish your value or what you have to say. How to handle people who aren't willing to listen. Stay calm. When someone doesn't listen to you, don't let your emotions take over. Remain calm and understand that you can't control their reactions, but you can control how you respond. Be confident in your own opinions. Keep speaking up about what you believe is right and important, even if others don't listen. This helps you maintain your value without needing external validation. Don't rely on others' approval. Accept that not everyone will agree with you or listen carefully. What's important is that you're confident in what you say and don't let others' behavior affect your self-esteem. Be selective in your relationships. If you notice that certain people repeatedly disrespect and don't listen to you, consider limiting the time and energy you invest in those relationships. Seek out people who are willing to listen and value you. When someone isn't willing to listen to you, it may be a sign of dislike or disrespect. However, in line with Stoic philosophy, we don't need others' agreement or attention to define our personal value. Focus on listening to yourself and maintaining confidence in what you say and do. By trusting in your own worth and not letting others' indifference affect your self-esteem, you'll become stronger and freer. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have control over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control, our own reactions and how we deal with unsympathetic attitudes from others. Instead of letting their dislike weaken our self-esteem or negatively affect our mood, we should continue to develop ourselves based on our personal values and principles. When you remain calm and unshaken by the emotions of others, you become stronger, and that is the core of Stoicism: inner self-control and serenity. Don't forget to click subscribe to our YouTube channel, click like video, write your share below video in the comments section. Thank you and see you in the next video.